The movie opens in Spain, 1942. Inside a secret fortress, we see the Brotherhood of Assassins as they initiate their newest member, Aguilar de Nera. His mentor, Benedicto, charges him to protect the Apple of Eden, a powerful Christian relic also being hunted by the Knights Templar, their sworn enemies. Aguilar then has his ring finger painfully removed as a rite of passage and given gauntlets with hidden blades by his ally Maria. Aguilar then swears to complete his duty and protect the apple. The next scene takes place in Mexico in 1986. We see a young boy Callum as he steadies his nerves for a big jump. He takes off but lands short, falling into a pile of mattresses. He heads back to his home on his bike, but as he heads inside, he is shocked to see his mother's lifeless body slumped before him with blood on the floor. In the corner, his father Joseph stands with a blade. He tells Cal that his blood is not his own and to live in the shadows before a convoy of jeeps pull up outside. Joseph orders him to run and he takes off as Joseph is captured by the Knights Templars. 30 years later, Cal is awaiting execution as a prisoner at a Huntsville facility for the alleged ending of a man's life. He draws strange faces from his visions and constantly hears whispers in his head, thinking that he is crazy. He is visited by a priest who has come to give him his last rites, then strapped to a table as his time has come. When asked about his last statement, he says he'll see his father in hell. Cal is strapped down and shakes with fear as he watches the poison flow into him. As the poison begins to take effect, visions begin to flash across his eyes as he passes away. Callum wakes up in a white room. He sees a woman staring at him thinking she must be an angel. She introduces herself as Dr. Sophia and tells him that he was pronounced dead and no longer exists. Cal tries standing, but his body is weak. Sophia tells Cal to sit, but he crawls out of the room as the guards watch him. He dizzily runs through the hallways until he ends up in a room with plants and other residents and sees the outside. He stands on the ledge and another resident urges him to jump before Sophia stops him. She tells him that he is being held at the Abstergo Foundation and that she is here to help him. Cal steps towards her and is immediately put down with a tranquilizer by McGowan, the head of security, as her father Alan watches on. Cal is then taken to a device called the Animus where he is strapped in and a mechanical arm attached to him. He is armed with hidden blades that once belonged to Aguilar de Nera, and a needle is injected into his brain painfully. Sophia tells him that he will enter the Animus and will enter the past through the memories of his ancestor. Cal is hoisted into the air by the mechanical arm as the scientists begin to scan his DNA, and bright lights appear around him. The air around him begins to change and he is brought back to the 19th century in the middle of a war. Cal wakes up on the edge of a cliff beside other assassins who are planning to rescue Prince Ahmed, son of the Sultan, from the Spanish Inquisition. The Inquisition leader, Ojeda, orders that the prince be taken away and orders the town to be burnt, but the assassins slowly surround them. Aguilar then takes out Ojeda's guard, but the other assassins fail to kill Ojeda. Maria takes control of the cage carrying the prince and rides off, but Ojeda and his men are hot on her heels. Aguilar grabs a horse and takes off after them to protect the boy as the other assassins fall. Maria expertly fights off a few guards and is able to stay ahead. Meanwhile, Aguilar catches up with Ojeda and jumps into his cart. The two battle, but with no one leading the cart, it crashes, but Aguilar is able to jump to Maria's cart. As the cart nears a cliff, he grabs the boy and uses a grapple to stop them from falling. Sophia immediately pulls Callum from the memory, congratulating him as he sees a vision of his past self. Later, we see Alan sitting alone in his office surrounded by Knights Templar artifacts. Sophia joins him and it turns out that they are members of the Knights Templar, using Callum to search for the Apple of Eden, which is able to control human will. Alan then meets with Templar Elder Ellen, who informs Alan that they will be discontinuing his project. She informs him that people are already willing to give up their freedom for standard of life, but Alan is adamant that his project is on the verge of a breakthrough, as they have located the keepers of the apple, which intrigues Ellen. Callum wakes up in a glass room with soldiers all around him. He hallucinates Aguilar attacking him before Sophia enters the room, telling him that she can teach him to control the visions. Callum grabs her and demands an explanation. She explains that by using the Animus, they can relive genetic memories of anyone's ancestors and urges him to cooperate. She takes Cal to a room, showing him everything about himself and his family tree, telling him about Aguilar and his history. She adds that the others he saw also had ancestors who were assassins in the past. She tells him about the Apple of Eden and that Aguilar is the last person to know its whereabouts and needs Cal's help to locate it. Once he helps her, she promises him a new life. Sophia leads Cal to a dining hall where he sees other residents like himself. He is approached by a man who introduces himself as Musa, the descendant of a Haitian assassin. He tells Cal that the others are waiting to see who he is and tells him that they are the last to protect the apple before leaving. Alan meets with Sophia, demanding that Cal go back into the Animus immediately as they are running out of time. Inside his room, Cal faces Aguilar and the two begin to fight. The guards come in and he takes down a few before they drag him away to the Animus. Sophia hooks him up, and Cal travels back to the 19th century, where he and the other assassins are chained inside a dungeon as the crowd outside await their execution. The guards lead the assassins out amongst the chanting crowd, where they are chained to poles and covered with oil. The head of the Spanish church gives a speech to the crowd as Ojeda approaches Aguilar, telling him that he will watch his mentor burn first. As Ojeda gets ready to set Benedicto ablaze, Cal is able to break free from his chains, fight off the guards while freeing Maria. Cal defends against the attacks and sets the entire platform ablaze before escaping. The two race across the rooftops, skillfully dodging attacks and showing off expert parkour. Ojeda is hot on their heels, but Aguilar and Maria are able to stay ahead of him barely, while dodging arrows and fighting guards. Ojeda manages to make his way to the rooftops and try to corner the two assassins, and manages to corner Aguilar, but he escapes. The two make their way to the top of a cathedral and jump from an enormous height, but Cal begins to have a seizure and Sophia pulls him from the Animus, ordering her medics to tend to him. Cal is doubtful that he can continue doing this, but Sophia urges him on, as he is the only one that can find the apple. She hands him his mother's pendant, telling him that her father was able to recover it from his mother's scene. She tells him that the Templars and the assassins have been at war for centuries and she wants to end it. Later, Cal is in his room honing his newly learned skills, while McGowan and Alan are worried that they are making him too strong. Alan goes to speak with Callum. He takes him to a room where other people like him are looking drained and brain dead. Alan tells him that this is what happens when people fight the Animus. He tells him that his father is being held there and leaves him the weapon his father used to do the act. Cal sees his father standing in the room and walks over to him with the blade. Joseph confesses that he took his mother's life by her own choice to prevent her from being used by the Animus. He explains that the Templar will use the apple to control human free will, but Cal is filled with rage and tells him that he will find it and hand it over to the Templars. Cal is taken back to the room with the other residents, but they kill the guard and attack Cal, warning that he will kill the Creed. Cal then asks to be sent back to the Animus and willingly logs into the machine. He is sent back in time, where the prince is to be handed over to his father the Sultan, in exchange for the Apple of Eden which he has guarded. The Sultan then hands over the apple to the head of the church, but Maria and Aguilar attack them, taking out the guards before Aguilar grabs the apple. Ojeda has grabbed Maria and the two have a standoff and Maria is killed. Aguilar then attacks Ojeda and the two face off in an intense battle, but Aguilar is beaten and knocked down. Ojeda goes in for the kill, but Aguilar is able to pierce him in the chest and complete the kill, slicing him up out of anger. Aguilar then makes his escape with the apple with the Templars in hot pursuit, but is surrounded on a very high bridge. Aguilar jumps from the bridge, using the knife to break his fall into the water. With this landing, Cal breaks the Animus and is fully locked into the memory without it. Sophia and the others look on as Aguilar hands the apple over to a man who turns out to be Christopher Columbus. Sophia figures out that the apple is buried with Christopher Columbus in Spain. With the Animus broken, all the assassins begin to awaken their inner assassin and begin to break out, taking out the guards. Cal is surrounded by the Creed as Sophia and Alan look on. Sophia sees what looks like her mother before she is dragged away as Alan tries to escape. Musa and the other assassins fight their way to the Animus and see Cal speaking to his mother, with his father right beside her. Accepting his role as an assassin and protector of the apple, Cal, Musa, and the others begin to fight the guards who have rushed the room. Cal hears Alan's helicopters taking off on the roof and climbs the Animus, but is too late as he watches the helicopter fly off. Alan and Sophia head to the burial place of Columbus where they retrieve the apple before heading to a large gathering of the Knights Templar. Sophia confronts Alan about the animus and the apple, saying it has been her life's work, but with Alan taking all the credit, kicking her to the curb. Unbeknownst to them, the assassins have made their way inside the convention undetected. Cal confronts Sophia when she is alone. He curses her for lying to her and using him, but does not kill her. Alan then unveils the apple of Eden and prepares to use it, but Cal takes him out and disappears. Sophia hears the commotion and goes to see her father dead, planning to take control of his project and retrieve the egg. A distance off, Cal with two other assassins look over the city, with Cal holding the apple of Eden. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe and turn on notifications so you can watch more movies like this.